So what we're doing is we're running a day-and-a-half workshop with a variety of stakeholders and folks associated with DHS, the Coast Guard, and then partners. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to look at what potential plausible operating environments would be for the Arctic in the year 2030 and beyond, and then look at what gaps that we have from what we have now to what we will potentially need, and use that to inform DHS science and technology and research and development, Coast Guard R&D, and try and be ready for an uncertain future. The process that we're using is we're using alternative futures that have been developed by RAND and ADAC. We developed plausible operating environments for those. We are analyzing those and then determining what the potential capability gaps are for those. We look at a variety of drivers and trends that are shaping the Arctic and how it's changing. We use science and technology to take a peek at what we think it's going to look like, and then based on the best scenarios that we can come up with out of a variety of, or a range of scenarios, we analyze those and then come up with the capability gaps.
There's overlap between what we're interested in at the Office of Naval Research, Arctic Research, and what ADAC is doing. But from a Navy perspective rather than a DHS perspective. We know the Arctic is changing, and that change is systemic, if you will. It's all parts of the system, whether you look at sea ice, the ocean, the land, vegetation, hydrology, the atmosphere. The whole system is changing, and that has implications for operations up there. And DHS is an operational agency, and it recognizes that with the changes that are occurring in the Arctic, then it needs to be ready and prepared for potentially a larger presence in operational terms up there. And so what does DHS need to know in terms of being able to operate up there, both on a day-to-day basis or on an emergency basis? We were addressing an emergency scenario in the Beaufort Sea with a Deepwater Horizon North scenario where a production platform, there's an explosion, there's a fire, there's an oil spill. And we had a discussion about, well, how do you respond? What do we need? In terms of the capabilities that we would anticipate being available, well, which is more important than the other? Which would you give a higher priority to deploying first and wait to bring other things in? And how would you do this? And where would you operate from? So we've got basically government, military and civilian, government, academia, private sector. There's people from the Alaska Native community and northern residents, people who have local knowledge, indigenous knowledge of that operational environment and so on. So I forget what the total number of people participating is. It's 70 or 80, I think. And it draws on a really broad community.
So I think what I'm most enthusiastic about is the fact that we're looking at different scenarios that could potentially change the Coast Guard over the next 10, 15, or 20 years. For me, being able to actually shape and change the organization's trajectory is exciting.